Welcome to Easy Eats. My name is Chef Yves Dechaine, and today we're in a different spot. Our kitchen is currently under renovations, and Sobeys Brookside here has graciously offered us their community room to shoot these episodes. And today I've got Mayor Al from the 12 Neighbours community in to join me. Welcome,
Thank you.
Chef or Mayor.
Thank you for having me here.
No problem. So today we are going to be making bread pudding. I heard that bread pudding was one of your favorite dishes, so we're going to kind of show everyone how to make that, and maybe we'll unlock some memories for you and all that other fun stuff.
Yeah, it will.
Awesome. So before we get into that, Al, let's talk a little bit about the 12 Neighbours community.
But 12 Neighbours has been going for 3 years now. I've lived there 3 years. In another week or so, it'll be 3 years that I've lived there.
That's fantastic.
So it's flying by. We've always got something on the go. So at any given time, we're doing something. We're going to try our hardest to keep people housed all across Canada. Everybody deserves a home. That's how I'll always believe, or at least offered a home. Whether they want it or not, that's their choice, but everybody should be offered a home in their life. And we have homeless students and homeless elderly people. Senior citizens are homeless. We can't have that, so we're going to keep doing what we can.
The premise of the 12 Neighbours Society, let's talk about the whole concept of it for those, I mean, we've been talking about it, and I know you've been talking a lot about it, but you know, a lot of people are kind of new to the concept, and now that we've done it here in Fredericton, we're seeing a lot of models pop up everywhere.
They are.
So for those who really haven't been following the news or anything like that, can you tell me the purpose or the reason why 12 Neighbours became 12 Neighbours?
Marcel did it to help homeless people. Like Marcel will say, you'll hear him say in news and stuff that he won the education lottery and the parent lottery, and not all of us did. So there's a lot of homeless people, which is how I became a member of 12 Neighbours community. I was homeless for 5 years with Shanda, and it was rough. I was like, and here in Fredericton, I was cold, wet all the time, and it was rough. And then by the time I hit 12 Neighbours, I was like seriously on my deathbed, staying in a tent, holes all through it, so cold, you can never get warm. And I had to worry about Shanda all the time. It wasn't just myself. I may have moved on somewhere else, like I don't really know, but I was with Shanda, and she takes a lot of meds. I couldn't leave her on her own. So 12 Neighbours is for homeless people. You have to be on a by names list. A lot of people ask me how you become a member of 12 Neighbours.
Yeah.
There's a by names list. You can go to Victoria Health or any of those community walk-in clinics. They'll do a by names list and put you on it. Then you apply for housing in MB Housing. Don't get discouraged by them. They're going to definitely say there's a 5-year waiting list. They're usually dead on, but that's not what you want to hear when you're homeless. When you call housing and they say there's a 5-year list, you're going, I'm going to live in a tent for 5 years. So it's scary. I'm sure Shanda was scared a lot, and I'm glad we had each other. She actually held stronger than I did, and it was good in the end. And I got into 12 Neighbours, started working with them right away, like I think a week after I got there. And I've been working with 12 Neighbours ever since. 12 Neighbours is big, and when we have people come and say, we want to build a community, I tell them it's a very big 12 Neighbours. It's a big project, it's expensive, property's hard to get. So we're trying to maybe make something that the city can have, where we don't have to look for property, but we could put something for homeless people up with heat in it, so we don't have tents burning and people freezing in tents. That breaks my heart when I hear it. Somebody's tent burnt and they're in it, or they freeze to death out there. And I know what it's like, so because I was homeless, I kind of get it.
Well, you can speak on it, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's what I do speak on, and if people ask me about addiction, I don't, because I didn't have addiction, no drug addiction or alcohol.
So it doesn't,
so I don't talk about something I don't know.
It's not hand in hand, right? Absolutely.
Yeah, I know addiction, a lot of it comes with homelessness, but not always. So that's why I kind of speak for the 12 Neighbours community. Not all of them have that voice that they want to use.
So let's scale back a little bit. You mentioned Shanda. Shanda's your partner, is she not?
She is.
And being homeless with a partner, I guess that's got to be hard, because the shelters here in town don't have co-ed shelters,
exactly.
Do they? So I find that a lot, and working in the nonprofit, I've seen a lot of people choose to, like you said, live in tents because they can't be together.
Yeah.
So this is what 12 Neighbors kind of offers everyone else a chance to do, don't they?
Yeah, so you can have couples in
Yeah.
12 Neighbors. You can't have kids. But so Marcel Lebrun, he's the founder of 12 Neighbors, my boss. He's a really good guy, very friendly. A lot of people don't really want to approach him. They don't know how. They'll come to me because I'm the happy face in there. And I'll say, you can go talk to Marcel. Like, I'll bring you right over. And they want to meet him, you know, and they're always like, you're a hero. And Marcel is, like, he saved a lot of lives, maybe.
Well, on that point, absolutely. He's just, again, I've had the chance to meet him as well, and he's just a man who really, he's a humanitarian. And he just wants people to live with dignity. Like you had said earlier, that he won the lottery, as in good parents,
Parenting.
loving parents, his situation, the stars aligned for him. So he's giving back, which I think is very good for someone who was lucky enough to have that. So he created those, and 12 Neighbors is more than just a community as in a neighborhood or a subdivision.
Yeah.
You guys have social enterprises and things like that. Like, can we talk about what you guys have going on?
I think that's important. Like Marcel will tell anybody, if you're going to build a community, you have to be there. You can't just build it and walk away.
Right.
You need the staffing.
But yeah, the social enterprise. I mean, that's what floors me. That's what amazes me, is that not only are you giving people a place to live, but you're giving them a purpose as well through those social enterprises.
Jobs are great. Like,
Absolutely.
So we have people in the community that work in our coffee shop, Neighborly Coffee,
Yeah.
which is doing really well. I mean, that place is booming all the time. So I greet there and I host there. And I work for 12 Neighbors still, and it's a great place to be. But we have people that live in our community that work in there. Our first residents, one of them works in the kitchen. We have a neighbor that moved in April, and she works in where I'm working in the front area. We're starting an entrepreneurship thing in our store part of the coffee shop that you've probably seen.
Okay, yeah.
So we're going to have community members. Some of them are very talented. We have one that knows how to make jewelry. She'll put it in the store and sell it and learn how to become an entrepreneur.
So we'll be back after this short break to keep on talking with Mayor Al about all the cool stuff that's going on at 12 Neighbors. Welcome back to Easy Eats again. My name is Chef Yves, and I'm here with Mayor Al from the 12 Neighbors community, and we are going to be making some bread pudding. So Al, when we sat and we called you to come on the show and asked you what you wanted to make with me, you said bread pudding. You said that it reminded you of your grandmother.
And my mom.
And your mom, which is fun. And I mean, it's a great recipe to have because it's using stale bread and transforming it into something different.
Yeah.
So we'll start by really easily, just bring right here. So all I did was I just grabbed, we're lucky we have croissant today, and not everyone has croissant to use,
No.
but you have whatever you have, right?
Yes. You can make it with donuts.
You can make it with donuts, you can make it with Wonder Bread,
Yeah.
you can make it with anything that you really, really want, but today I'm just gonna use croissant,
Yeah.
and I don't cut it with a knife, I just tear it into pieces.
Yeah, that's what I used to do, and I just fill up the bowl.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
you're going to pour your ingredients on top of it. So it's pretty simple to make.
Absolutely.
The right amount of sugar and milk, vanilla, whatever. But bread pudding is something that our younger generation are not going to know about. It's mostly us old folks, like myself. So, like, yeah, my grandmother taught me how to make this, and my mom was always getting me to make it. I actually made it one time for Interville House in Ottawa. It was
Okay.
a women's shelter for women who were abused and stuff, and they got me to go in and make it for the whole group.
Well, that's fantastic. So basically, you just grab yourself a casserole dish, and like you
Yeah, you
said,
did that
Al,
very quick.
You just kind of fired everything in there like that. So before we start making our custard, let's talk about the social enterprises that you have going on at the 12 Neighbors community. You guys have a coffee shop. A great coffee shop, and you guys have a kitchen back there, so you guys are making pastries. You guys are making croissant. You guys are making bread. I heard about a bread program that you guys have on the go. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so we started a Christmas bread program. So it was over Christmas. Marcel made these tiny homes, like little wooden ones.
Yeah.
Everybody's name from the community was on one, and they were on the table. You could donate $28, and then you'd take the house with the name on it and hang it on our wall, it's called.
Okay.
It's called the Wave. And we'd hang them on there, so everybody got bread for, I think, 2 months, and every week, I guess, for 2 months. And then we did it again. We did it with hearts, with the numbers of the houses. So there'd be 3 hearts beside each number, and you'd donate, put a heart in whatever house you wanted, whatever number. And so our bread program goes, I think, right now till April, and I think we're going to start another bread program. So it's good for our community. Bread's very important.
And who doesn't love fresh
And
loaf
it's
of
fresh made and right on in our community, brought right to you. So it's warm when you get it.
bread? Oh, that's, yeah.
And it's a good kitchen, good staff. All 12 neighbors have all been great staff. Everybody I've ever met since I've been there. Always good staff, good people to be around. They're fun to be around. They're also serious at the same time. They have jobs to do. I don't take my job serious because I'm not serious.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not a real mayor. But I like to laugh and joke with people, and that's why I greet and host and do the things I do. It's more about the people for me.
You weren't elected mayor. That's more of kind of a nickname because you're kind of like the spokesperson. You're kind of a success story, aren't you?
Yeah,
for
Marcel
the
will say I'm
community?
self-appointed.
Self-appointed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell him I was elected. Shanda, who's my partner, she voted me in, so I only needed the one.
Well, no, and that's it. And I mean,
She was fine with it, and she still is. She's happy for me. Like, my life turned around since 12 Neighbours, of course, being homeless, and I actually grew up in Ottawa. I think we talked about that once, and I grew up in the projects in Ottawa, so it was always rough. But I found that 5 years homeless to be the roughest time of my life.
No, absolutely. So I've got my eggs, my sugar in together.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of mix it together until everything's incorporated, and then we kind of get a nice lighter color. So instead of that deep yellow, I'm just trying to kind of cream out my eggs and my sugar. Not everyone does this, but I find that it gives it a nice fluffier texture when it's all said and done. So I just kind of beat it together till it lightens up a little bit. And then now to this, I'm just going to add a little bit of vanilla,
Good.
a little bit of cinnamon.
Nice.
There we
See, I've never had that, so this is going to be a first for me.
Well, that's it.
I knew you were going to do something anyways.
And there we go. And then, to make our custard, we're just going to add our milk. So
Oh, I love
I
the
start off with 2 cups of milk, just like that. So at this point right now, we've got our custard right there. And what I like to do is, and I mean, this is a complete option, is I take a little bit of butter.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And I kind of drizzle it across. And again, if we're using regular bread, then we wouldn't have to add the butter. We'd want to add the butter because it's croissant. Croissant is a lot of butter.
I can't wait to try this.
Have to do this. Well, thanks. And then what I do is, in this complete option, some people put raisins in it.
Yeah.
I'm not a big raisin fan in sweets, and we were chatting and you weren't either.
No.
So I like chocolate chips, but even more so, I like peanut butter chips. So today we're just going to kind of
That's cool.
fire some peanut butter chips. And again, it's whatever you'd like.
Yeah.
But when you're adding your add-ins though, Al, you got to really be sure that you're not adding too much.
Yeah.
So I always suggest that if you're making a casserole dish this size, about a half a cup of add-ins. So be it nuts, be it coconut, be it chocolate chips or raisins or cranberries or anything like that, a half a cup is all you really need. And then you kind of give it a little bit of a shake, just like this, so then they'll just kind of fall in. You don't want to give it too much because what happens is they have a tendency to slide down to the bottom.
Yeah.
And you don't want to have all of your good chips or your add-ins at the bottom. You want them intermixed inside the thing, just like that. And then all we need to do now is, once we have this custard, is that I just really just kind of pour it in.
Oh, that looks so yummy.
Like that. It's ready. And so we're just going to set our oven to 375 degrees.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to slide it in till it's done. It's probably about 20 minutes or so. So before we slide it in, we'll just kind of talk a little bit about the 12 Neighbours community again, because I really want to know a little bit more about those social enterprises. We've got the kitchen. You guys have a print shop,
Yep.
or a silk screening shop.
We do.
Which is really cool. You guys are making T-shirts
it's
with
upstairs,
logos. Yeah.
yeah.
You guys also have a shop where you guys are actually building those tiny homes, aren't you?
So we still have yet to make a tiny home in there. It's a new warehouse.
Okay.
We were building on Clark Street.
Oh, were you? Okay.
So that's where all our houses were built.
Right on.
And then our warehouse only just opened months ago, so it was brand new. Once the coffee shop opened, like, everything opened up. It's a busy place. I like it a lot more now that that's there. The SEC, it's a good thing for us to have in our community. It brings a lot of Fredericton people in. All the people that come in there love it, and they want to know a lot about it. So I have showed people inside the warehouse. I showed you guys the tiny home.
Yeah.
I've showed people upstairs in the offices, kind of before they got filled. We rent office space out
Okay.
for so meetings and stuff like that.
So you guys have rental spaces, office meeting spaces,
Yeah.
and kind of like a great social enterprise, I guess, to fund the projects that you guys are kind
Exactly.
of doing, right?
Yeah, so we get a lot of donations as well. It's a nonprofit place, so we get donations are very important to us, and it helps us to build for other people. So it's not all about 12 Neighbours all the time. I think some people that live in 12 Neighbours kind of felt like when the coffee shop was built that they got left out, but that's not the case. We have a bread program. They get bread all the time. We'll always have something for them. No one's ever going to go hungry in 12 Neighbours. Now we know you,
Yep.
so definitely not going hungry.
There you go. Yeah.
And we have a kitchen, and it's staffed well, and we do as the best we can in our community. We didn't forget about 12 Neighbours community. A lot of people will ask me if Neighborly Coffee is a part of 12 Neighbours, and it is. And we have Neighborly Enterprise, which is going to be an entrepreneur shop for people that live in the community and outside. So anybody
like a concession store.
yeah, kind of like that, and they can learn about business. And I said to Marcel, it would be cool if one day we went downtown and seen one of our residents that used to live here and has a store now and are doing really well.
That would
Even
be great.
one would be
Absolutely. And I think that's what it comes right down to, is offering people support with dignity and things like that is basically, I guess that's kind of your motto, or the kind of the mantra that that the neighborhood kind of lives by, right?
Hope and dignity is big. Hope is always a big word for me. It's a great place to be. I love it. I could never see myself leaving there.
So we're just going to slide this in the oven, and we'll be back to taste it right after this short time. Welcome back to Easy Eats. Again, we're in the Brookside Sobeys community room with Mayor Al from the 12 Neighbours community. And we've just pulled this bread pudding out of the oven. It looks wonderful. It looks really, really nice. We're just going to let it sit here and let it cool off. But while we're doing that, let's talk a little bit more about 12 Neighbours. It's a great community. It helps and it supports people that are in need. Do you guys have staff in place to help people with bettering their lives?
We
to,
do.
You know, for education.
Anybody
or
wants to get a
counselors?
GED can get that in 12 Neighbours. We bring the teachers there. They volunteer. So we do get a lot of volunteers that come and help people. We have staff, full-time staff. We have mental health workers. We have addiction counseling upstairs. It is a good community though, and we seem to. So the turnaround in there is really good. Most people that are there definitely been over a year, and I've been there 3. So we are keeping people. So now everybody's getting used to one another. It's not a new face all the time, and I think most people that are going to come are going to stay. There is rules, like any community or any building you live in.
Absolutely.
Sometimes they have a hard time with it, but I think once they get used to the idea of how you take care of your home and how you pay rent and those things, those important things, but you need your house.
That's it, and then you take pride in it. And I think that's another lesson that a lot of
My house is beautiful. I
Yeah.
love it. Like, and they go, oh, you need a new floor, but I would fall through it before I'd leave it. But I love where I live. I think most people like their homes, and they have their own touch that they do to it.
you can personalize your spot. So can you pick the paint?
On the inside, there's pine in most, like the one I showed
Yeah.
you. Mine is white pine, so I can paint over it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get it painted by summer, and we're getting it all the new floors and the cupboards, and we'll get it painted as well. It's just an upgrade, like kind of like I mean, that's part of being a landlord. You're gonna have to
Upgrade.
fix things
Yeah.
and repair things. It's just a part of it. You tackled it. Unfortunately, you got to deal with it.
So you're right. Like the maintenance to upkeep to keep things working and good functioning. But on that note, for helping people, how can the community get involved to help out with 12 Neighbours?
We have staff upstairs that would know.
And we'd be
So
able
we
to
have
point us? Yeah.
we have like art classes. We have Steve Patterson does music lessons up there. We have community barbecues and,
Okay.
and concerts like outside of when 12 Neighbours is all shut down. The coffee shop shut down. We do that out front, and we have our barbecue, and everybody comes out from our community. And we're gonna have like people just in Fredericton in general, if they're making something, they can bring it to our coffee shop into our store, and they can sell it from there. And 12 Neighbours, it's a business.
Now I think this is kind of ready for you
This
to
looks
taste.
like so good.
So hopefully this takes you back, Al. Hopefully this
Oh,
brings you.
it already did. Just when it came out of the oven, you smell that. It's so good.
Awesome.
Looks
So we're
really
just gonna pop a piece on here for you.
Well, it's like a half a crab pudding.
Well, that's it, hey man, and then a little bit
Can I
for
try
me
it?
because that's why I put it there, my friend. There we go. So
Still hot, so watch your mouth.
watch your mouth, absolutely.
It looks good. Oh, it is hot.
And again, you can make it with any kind of bread that's kind of going,
Stale bread's definitely the best.
and it's better than tossing it into the trash can.
Definitely. So on an air fryer, I was thinking about making this at home.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, air fryers, they don't come with, you don't get anything that you buy in the store doesn't say air fry at this, and that's got to come out, right? It's always like, just put the oven at 350 kind of thing. Air frying is a lot different, and air fryers are different. It's not
They
like the
are.
microwave.
This can be made in a toaster oven. It could be made with a little bit of tweaking. Can definitely be made in an air fryer.
This is good.
It is perfect. Well, anyways, Al, thank you so much for being on and sharing the story of 12 Neighbours with us, letting us a little bit. So people can come and find you. You're at the coffee shop most days if they want to kind of chat with you and learn a little bit more about it.
Definitely. Solar work there, Wednesday through Sunday, 10 till 2. But I'm always around the community anyway. And if most people know where I live, they can knock on my door, I'll come out, show them around, show them that house. If I see people approach it from my window, I'll go out.
Well, that's fantastic, Al. And I mean, what mayor would do that?
Yeah,
You're one of a
seriously.
kind, my friend. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for being on the show today, and all success to you with all your projects with 12 Neighbours. And hopefully we'll have tiny home communities across Canada.
Definitely. That's what I'm hoping for.
Awesome. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.